is.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Thank you. How did you all find each other? How did it come together? You were all in the same kind of group, organization, program, but how'd you connect the dots?
We connected the dots courtesy of Jake's House with their Give a Little Bit campaign in 2019 of autism awareness. And we performed alongside Roger Hodgson, and we performed Give a Little Bit with him. And afterwards, we honestly, like Jake's House and Andrew Simon, they collabed with us, and they brought the idea that it should be a band because we all have a myriad of talents that deserve to be well known across the world someday. Like, first it was Canada, and now our first gig in the USA.
Can I just throw in one thing? I think they're here. David and Irene Bodanis are right there.
Yeah, they should be up front here too. Like, honestly.
Amazing. Hi, David and Irene. Thanks.
Again, I just want to say thank you to David for actually getting us up here. Like, honestly, they paid for us to come up here, and that's amazing.
Agreed. I'm going to give one to Maury. Is that all right?
No, not okay.
Hello.
So I fell in love with this community, and you said something that really resonated, and I want to see if you can elaborate on it.
Okay.
You said your fear was that they're so honest, there's no sarcasm, there's no joking, and that would slow down the process, but the reverse actually happened. Can you talk about that?
Yes, well, as you can tell, I'm a little older than the rest of the band. And I have played in a bunch of music groups for many, many years, about a quarter century. And sometimes, this may come as a surprise, but there are egos involved in musical acts. There are singer personalities and lead guitarist personalities and managers and all sorts of things that happen which can slow down the wave of progress, really. And so I had no idea what I was walking into when I met these guys, and I was just supposed to help them prepare some music so that we could get it recorded. And when I got over myself, I realized I was worrying about me and I wasn't worrying about them. So I think that was the main things. They taught me to be open-hearted, just sit back and listen and let things take shape. Don't be in a rush to make art, or don't be in a rush to share your heart. And I think that's what happens in a lot of creative collaborations. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Anyone want to add anything to that? Okay, you can hold the mic. Jackson, how about you? Can I ask you one?
Oh, sure.
The idea of masking and the song Masquerade, which is incredible. Can you just talk about the idea of what it means to mask, and I guess how the world could be different if we didn't have to?
Well, yeah, I think it's because, like, because of the lack of, like, awareness about autism, then, you know, like, the neurotypical society, like, they don't really know what to expect, so that's, you know, especially in school settings, like with children, like I learned to mask when I was a kid, you know, because that's how you survive the playground, because kids are jerks, you know.
Yeah. That answers it.
But not all of them are, when you find the right people to be with.
Nice. Ron, is there anything you want to add or share? How did you find Jake's House? How did you get connected?
Is it with Roger Hodgson?
Yeah.
At the Sony Center on Tuesday, April 2, 2019.
There you go. That's your mom over there, right?
Yep, that's my mom over there.
So the most frequently used word was independent, right?
Well, I'm starting to have an independent since my mom just talking about it when I'm learning how to be in control.
Nice.
I think that's the second most used word that he used. The first one is what the film is named after.
Okay.
That's Ron's catchphrase.
You're right. Say your catchphrase for us.
His mom, yeah.
Yeah?
What do you say every time you're always like, okay?
Well, okay.
Thank you for clarifying. I meant his mom's most frequently used word was independence, and that's what a lot of parents are worried about and thinking about. And I guess I just wanted to ask, it means different things to different people. So, what does independence mean to you guys?
Oh,
What does
thank
it
you.
mean? What about you, Spencer? What does it mean to be independent? Like, what do you want your life to look like?
Just being able to do things on my own and not always have to rely on other people is pretty much. I mean, it's not bad to rely on other people and get help, but not needing it.
Yeah. And getting it if you need it.
Yeah.
We all need help.
Also, just being able to ask for help too is also part of being independent.
Yeah, I think, I'm so grateful for this band right here. This film wouldn't have been the same without them. That was one of the central themes we wanted to explore in this film is how does a parent provide independence, but do it in a way that is supportive, is safe, is empowering, but not over-controlling. And I just got to thank Lucy and all of the families, because their vulnerability and their openness about their journey would not have made this film. Without that, this film would not have been what it was. And so for me, being neurotypical and walking into their lives, I was very nervous coming into this film that my lived experience would influence the edit too much. But we spent about 100 hours of footage capturing in all of their homes, and every one of these band members and all of the families, their openness, their vulnerability, and their bravery, just opening up their hearts and minds and experiences on camera just made the film the way it is. It's their voices that were in this film, and so yeah, thank you for that.
I do want to give a shout out. So Mark is in case you couldn't tell, a very talented person, director. And one of the hardest things when you make a documentary is you want to make it dramatic. So purposely, the drama's in the back seat. This is about 1/10 of stuff that's happened to the band that you see on the film, which is kind of funny to me. Everything I watch, I'm like, oh, you haven't seen half of it. And this is truth. This is honesty. This is life that is being shown. I do want to mention, in case anybody is not watching Canada's Got Talent, but guess who is on Canada's Got Talent?
Well, last week's airing was on Tuesday, April 25.
That's absolutely
2023 is
that
on
is
City
correct.
TV.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah,
As always.
and furthermore, may I interject?
You may.
Yeah, if you couldn't have accessed it on TV, you could on YouTube, on the City TV app, or website.
It's also up on the Instagram page too.
Or go to YouTube account for the City TV or the Canada's Got Talent on channel.
Nobody needs marketing. We got these guys. This is amazing. And they did, by the way, just for those who watch the show, there's 4 judges. Yes, 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 yes.
Well, we have a lot of fans in the audience, and some might want to ask a question. So let's open it up and hear from you guys.
Hi guys, over here in the front. Yeah, my question for you is actually for the director. You just said that. Oh, I thought you just said that the film had about 1/10.
Yes, I was, because I'm the band manager and the executive producer of the film.
Okay, so
Yes.
my
I'm the strikingly handsome one. He's the.
Oh, okay. Well, to the makers of the film, those of you following this incredibly genius, talented, so charming, like you didn't need drama because you had so much charisma, I feel. But I would love to know, of those 9/10ths, like what didn't we see that we could have seen?
Behind the scenes.
I mean, that's always that is essentially what a filmmaker does, is you're deciding what not to add in your film when you're a documentary filmmaker, because you shoot a lot, and then, you know, if you do the math ratio, you know, about 1% of everything we shot made it here. But there's so much more to each person's story. We could have made a film about each person in this band. What didn't you see? I mean, what you didn't see was the hours and hours of rehearsing and writing. We had to summarize that. There's so many different parts of their lives. I know we spoke to each band member about their high school and grade school experience, but to try to fit everything into 83 minutes, we couldn't put it all in, and that's tough, you know. And there was lots of more jokes and humor, and at a certain point, you just have to decide. You have to make decisions, and they were tough. So I don't know. Is there anything that you guys felt?
I mean,
that we didn't put
one
in?
thing, these guys followed me around for like a couple hours
Oh, yeah.
while I was doing Uber Eats on my
Yeah.
bike. He like follows me into the elevator, up into the building to drop off the food. None of that got used.
Yeah. That was definitely the most tough thing we ever did. Is Spencer would tell us the location where the food was, and then he would just tell us, he's like, I'm gonna beat you there because I need a tip. And so he would zip off in traffic, and I would try to get out of the car and get it. And so and then our editor put together a beautiful 5-minute montage of him delivering delicious food all around Toronto. And
If you still
I
have
think
that, I'd like it.
Yeah, there's like 2. Yeah, we'll get it to you. There's 2 shots in the entire film. So yeah, but yeah, Spencer's if you ever need Uber Eats, he's the guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's 2 seconds of the movie where I'm on a stage dressed as Elvis, like performing an Elvis. So I did an outdoor show during the summer, at like some theater next door, at an alleyway next door to the theater. They set up an outdoor stage and they had like a variety show, and I did like a full Elvis set there, and yeah, a second or 2 of that ended up in the movie.
You know what? That really is one thing that bothers me. They don't mention once in the movie that you do an Elvis impersonator as a living. Like that could have even been like a couple seconds of the movie saying that.
Wedding receptions, birthday parties.
We'll travel up to New York just for that.
He traveled.
It sounds like we need a sequel. I think that's what it is.
Next album.
I just want to share one story because this is an example. So we got a call before the pandemic for the band to do a charity gig in Alabama. And it was supposed to be opening for a very small band. They're called Imagine Dragons. And like weeks before we were supposed to go, we couldn't go because the governor of Alabama refused to have us come. Yes.
COVID got too high.
Nothing against the governor of Alabama, but yes, COVID. Yes. So that was very devastating.
Because of the pandemic. You should add that it was not because of them.
This was.
I don't know if it was.
I'm just gonna blame the governor. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just go with the governor.
This was the summer of 21. So
That's right. That's right. And we could have put that in, but it didn't feel appropriate, and it felt like forced. Like it really happened. But like again, kudos to this band who just went like, all right, and kudos to Mark, because that was kind of like, we're going to go to Alabama, shoot that. That was going to be our third act. That was going to be this glorious thing. And when I told Mark, I said, guess what? It's canceled. He took a beat, and then he's like, that's all right. Like he actually was just like, we'll figure something out, because this has been, what we got was so incredible up to that point.
I'll just add to that. Yeah, there was a big moment of disappointment, but when I thought about it, we've been about 4 or 5 days into filming, so I had the chance to kind of be present in each one of the band members' homes. And when Andrew mentioned that to me, there was this like, oh, I don't know how the film's going to end. But there was an excitement for me, because then it was this band is not about a congratulatory, hey, you got to open for a cool neurotypical band. It got to be about them, and the film ended with them. And so that was really cool.
Well said.
They also forgot to put the scene with